Alright everybody, welcome back to game number 3 between NexGenius and Tester. This is going to be the series conclusion between these two Protoss players. Once again, the winner of this series will go on to face off in the semifinals versus Foxer, who did beat Fruit Dealer in the last series. So I am sorry if I spoiled that game for you guys, but if you guys didn't watch the last game, then why are you guys watching this game already? That's just already spoiling it for you guys in the first place. You guys are like wanting to get spoiled, so... and for all you guys who did see the last video, then my double thumbs up to you guys for staying chronologically in order. And yeah, this is going to be another PvP. Of course, it is going to be the series finale, best of 3. I actually have to slow down. The reason why I'm so hyper right now is because I kid you guys not, if you guys watched the last video, there was a bunch of ants crawling around my room. I just noticed, and I know it's kind of gross, but seriously, they have crawled onto my arm and my shoulder, and yeah, it's just causing me to like freak out. I freaked out in the last game, and in the games in the space between these two games. So hopefully, that problem has been taken care of. I sprayed some bug begone on them, and I hope that's going to take care of the issue and doesn't kill me in the process. But this is going to be a Protoss versus Protoss. I'm super excited to see who's going to win this game. It's a PvP, so I would expect to see both players open up the 4-gate again. But in the last game, you guys saw how effective opening up an early Colossus can be. Now, it is extremely risky. And the thing is, Tester, he had more units than NexGenius. And really, he just didn't attack because he was worried. He thought it was going to be a 4-gate attack because he saw the proxy pylon at the center. So basically, it was kind of a mind game from NexGenius. And what a beautiful mind game it was. Well played, perfectly laid out. It was like a master chess strategy, grandmaster chess. So that was such an incredible ploy. To be able to use that, scare his opponent, Tester, and then go to early Colossus without really having to worry about anything at all. Now, maybe we're going to see fast Colossus again, but one-base Colossus, early Colossus is extremely risky. If your opponent goes 4-gate and he attacks you before you get that Colossus technology out. So it can really go either way. And right now, both players are opening up with their Cyber Core and their dual gas. So it's pretty much an identical build at this point. It looks like we are going to be seeing Warp Gate from NexGenius, and we are going to be seeing, well, I guess we're going to be seeing Warp Gate from both players. But the Chrono Boost is actually being used on the Stalker for NexGenius. So this signals to me that he wants to get the scouting probe out of the way by getting the Stalker out as quickly as he possibly can. And then maybe he's going to open up with that Robotech once again and go for early Colossus. And the reason why is he needs to get rid of the scouting probe before he can lay down his tech route. On the other hand, is Tester going to go for Robo, or is he going to go for Warp Gate? He did use his first Chrono Boost on the Warp Gate. As you guys can see, his Cybernetics Core just a little bit ahead. And oh wow, NexGenius is going to open up with a Twilight Council. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It looks like Tester's going to open up with Twilight Council as well. So we are going to be seeing 3-gate Blink Stalker from both of these players. This is the other opening that both players can do. Not quite as common in PvP, I don't think, but it still is very, very effective. And now we are going to be seeing the double gateway being laid down from both players. So it is going to be 3-gate Blink Stalker from NexGenius versus 3-gate Blink Stalker from Tester. And both these players are dead even in Harvester's 20. Well, I guess Tester has just a slight advantage, 25 over 24, but really that's a very minuscule advantage. It's going to come down to micro, and whichever player gets the favorable well, just has better skill. That's what it's going to come down to. If we look at NexGenius's first-person cam, you guys can see he is just hard at the micro right now. 2 Stalkers versus 2 Stalkers right now. They are going to decide to retreat, however. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at Tester's player cam. Obviously, Chrono Boost being used on the Blink. Both players on that production tab. Blink on the way. It looks like Tester will get his done just a little bit faster. I don't think that's going to make too much of a difference, so... most likely, you know, NexGenius only a few seconds behind. Oh, wow. As you guys saw the player cam of Tester right there, Tester did spot a proxy pylon from NexGenius. NexGenius laying another proxy pylon down Very tricky play. He's got one also actually, this is Tester's proxy pylon out in the 1 o'clock position at the center of the map, and it looks like Tester will pick off this pylon, but he doesn't see the other pylon in the back. And now NexGenius pushing forward. Tester pushing yeah, that is NexGenius. I'm getting so confused here because both players are just doing the exact same build, but it is NexGenius who's pushing forward, and he does have a pylon to warp in additional reinforcements. Oh wow, we have a Dark Shrine coming out for Tester. So Tester is gonna try to be sneaky. He's gonna exploit the fact that NexGenius has gone for this early Twilight Council, which obviously means he won't have obs out, which means Observer. And without the early Observer, the Dark Templars could do a lot of damage. Now here comes NexGenius. Is he going to be able to win the game before the Dark Templar come out? That is a lot of Stalkers, but at the same time, Tester has quite a few Stalkers of his own. He's actually got a slightly better economy. So the longer this game gets played out, the better it is for Tester. And oh wow, NexGenius makes a huge blink into enemy territory. I think he might have enough Stalkers. It's going to come down completely to Micro. Watch both these players. Micro, the weakest Stalker, to the back. They're going to blink him back. Oh, it looks like NexGenius will actually blink forward. A sign of aggression. He thinks he's got the advantage here. More Stalkers on the way down. And oh wow, NexGenius is going to take the victory here unless Tester can get his Dark Templar out in time. Do note that Tester has quite a few. He's actually got a pylon in the back here, and a Dark Templar warps into the back of NexGenius's base. NexGenius, he might think he has the advantage. He might think he has this game in the bag. He thinks he's gonna go on to face Foxer, but little does he know, there's a Dark Templar inside his probe line. He needs to pull the probes out of the way. All these probes are just becoming civilian casualties right now. And another DT warps into his main, which does mean that NexGenius now will have to retreat. I think he realizes how many probes he's lost back at his main base. Currently, Harvester counts 7 to 1. We have a Forge warping in. What the heck is NexGenius doing? He's decided to warp in a Forge, and all the probes have gone down actually. So, except for 2, actually 3 probes for NexGenius, 1 probe for Tester. And Tester, with this 1 probe, he actually has to keep this probe alive. Where is that probe? It's trying to scurry its way back home. If this probe dies, then Tester will not be able to make any more Harvesters, and he will be out of this game. And it looks like, wow, Tester with map hacks is going to spot the photon cannons. I think I realized why NexGenius built these cannons. He realizes now it's going to come down to an elimination game, and photon cannons are going to be able to hold off DTs. It looks like the last probe goes down. It's actually now down to 1 probe apiece for both players. Blink Stalker's doing a lot of damage. The DT picks off the pylons, or the probe, and now if it can pick off these photon cannons, then it may come down to, it looks like Tester may have a shot. He kills off the photon cannon and gets out of the way. So if you guys look at the income tab, both players are at 0-0, so they have no Harvesters at all. 1 photon cannon for NexGenius. So this is all NexGenius has to stay alive. And at the same time, what does Tester have to stay alive? Tester actually has 1 Dark Templar. So NexGenius has no income because he's lost his main to this DT. He cannot even make a pylon. So I honestly think this may be a draw here. What the heck just happened? I don't even know what happened there. I guess something died. But on the production tab, nothing being produced for either player. And really, it's just going to come down to if these DTs can kill off all these Stalkers. But obviously, NexGenius is going to leave the majority of his Stalkers, or at least 1 Stalker, next to this photon cannon. So he's never going to lose his mobile units. And this may actually come down to a draw here in game number 3. We may actually go to game 4. Tester working the pylons. Finally, everything inside the Protoss base unpowered except the assimilator. And all NexGenius has to do is just stay next to this photon cannon. This is the detection he needs to deal with the DTs. And he can afford to lose this entire main base. All he has to do is stay next to this photon cannon, and he's in the game. And really, I wouldn't be surprised to see him maybe bring a couple of his stalkers to try to kill off the entire Protoss main. If he can kill off all these buildings, then he is in fact going to win the game. It's going to come down to elimination, but of course there is one DT here, which is going to make it a living nightmare for these stalkers to move out and try to eliminate Tester. So really at this point it's just going to come down to which player wants to actually, if Tester wants to move out, excuse me, NexGenius, if he wants to move out and be aggressive and try to kill off these buildings, but he knows that there's DTs out and about, and I don't think he wants to risk losing his stalkers. So it really, this could be the first ever draw game that I've casted. And you guys might think, oh yeah, there's plenty of draw games that happen all the time. And I do have to agree with you. I've actually had a draw game on ladder a couple of times. I just didn't really want to cast it. But this is the first ever pro level draw game between two S-class Protoss players, Tester and NexGenius. And I honestly don't see this game resolving anytime soon. I think maybe the refs are going to come in here and call a draw, and we are going to move on to a game number 4. So, it is going to be a PvP, but it is going to be a draw. Tester still working the warp gates. He's going to kill all these buildings, but he knows that there's still a photon cannon over here. And obviously, Tester cannot win this game. There's just no way he can kill off those cannons with the stalkers there. And NexGenius isn't really moving out. He wants to play completely defensive, so he wants to pull the game out to a 4th game. And yeah, it is going to go to a 4th. So that is declared a draw by the referees. And we're going to move on to game number 4 here in the round of 8 of the GSL. So an incredible game thus far. And get the heck off me. Oh my god, there's so many on me right now. Oh god. So we're going to move on to game number 4. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned. I love you guys all. Make sure to subscribe, and we're going to move on. HD signing out.